Welcome back. You're still watching The Globe. Former US President Donald Trump has hinted at a possible presidential run in 2024. Trump attacked President Joe Biden and repeated his fraud claims and saying that he won the 2020 election in his first major appearance since leaving the White House nearly 6 weeks ago.
Addressing his supporters in Florida, the former president says he's looking to reclaim his role as the Republican Party kingmaker in the 2022 midterm elections and has no plans to relaunch a third party.
And I want you to know that I'm going to continue to fight right by your side. We will do what we've done right from the beginning, which is to win. We're not starting new parties. You know, they kept saying, he's going to start a brand new party. We have the Republican Party. It's going to unite and be stronger than ever before. I am not starting a new party. That was fake news. Fake news, no. Wouldn't that be brilliant? Let's start a new party and let's divide our vote so that you can never win. No, we're not interested in that.
Repeating his false claims that he won the November election, Trump went on to label Joe Biden's administration as a failure, which has been in office for 2 months.
Joe Biden has had the most disastrous first month of any president in modern history. That's true. Already the Biden administration has proven that they are anti-jobs, anti-family, anti-borders, anti-energy, anti-women, and anti-science. In just one short month, we have gone from America first to America last.
This was Trump's first public appearance after being acquitted of a second impeachment trial of inciting the Capitol riot that left 5 people dead on January 6th. Trump will more likely want to see the way the wind blows in the 2022 midterm elections before announcing his 2024 candidacy.
John Leboutillier is a former Republican member of the House of Representatives, and he joins us now via Skype from New York State. John, always good to talk to you. Thanks for joining us. So, first appearance since he lost his presidency and Joe Biden was sworn in. It must have been difficult for him to have been away for so long. Did he make a huge comeback in your view?
No. In fact, please, Peter, wake me up when he's finished speaking. He spoke for an hour and a half last night. It was a bore. It had low energy. They took a straw poll at the convention before he spoke about 2024 and who do they want to have as their standard bearer in the next presidential election. Now, this is a crowd that's all pro-Trump. And he only got 55% who said they want him for president in 2024. So I think he's fading out bit by bit. I think he's reached his peak as president. It's over. He's got a world of trouble coming now with the taxes, the possible indictment in New York for tax fraud, business fraud, mortgage fraud, and many other investigations. This is going to be a bad period in this guy's life.
Tell us about CPAC. What is this?
CPAC, Conservative Political Action Conference. It's been going on for about 40 years. It's usually held across the river from Washington in Alexandria, Virginia, in a Grand Hyatt hotel over there. I've been to it. And it's conservative activists, not necessarily Republicans, it's conservatives from all over the country would come to Washington for a big weekend with speeches and programs and panel discussions about, whoa, what should be our new health care policy? What should our new tax policy be? And it was ideas from conservatism. Trump got in there and totally took over like he does everything else, made it all about himself. His son, on Saturday when he spoke, or maybe it was Friday, said we ought to rename this thing from CPAC to TPAC for Trump Political Action Committee. And that's what it's sort of become, like the Republican Party has become the party of Trump. It's a cult of personality, not a collection of individuals with different ideas who try to find common ground, which is what a party does.
You talked about that straw poll. 55% said they would like his name on the ticket in 2024, which means at a Trump rally or Trump gathering, 45% didn't see him as the guy. Does that mean that there are many Republicans who are now saying enough is enough?
Well, I think there are. I think there are more and more than we know. I'm talking about voters out in America. I mean, he has a passionate group of followers. I'm not going to deny that. But there are a lot of other voters who voted for him because they vote Republican, but they don't really want Trump again. And that's today. If, as I believe, all these bad things are going to happen to Trump, by 2024, I think his star has fallen. And I'm sure South Africa is the same as America, Peter. We all like the newest iPhone, a new car, the newest gadget. How often do we say, hey, you know what? I don't want anything new. I'm going to go back to something that I already have. Not much. And I think Trump's day has come and gone.
Did he have any compelling message at CPAC? Was there something that stood out that perhaps people could walk away with and say, I heard from Trump and this is what I'm going to take?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I read that they sold a lot of Trump merchandise at the thing, you know, Trump hats and all that. But they could not sell all the anti-Biden merchandise that people had brought there to sell. And the attacks over the weekend against Joe Biden fell very flat. He's only been in office for 40 days, 40. And for Trump to get up there and say it's the worst beginning of a presidency ever, I'm telling you, as an American history major, this is one of the best beginnings of a presidency ever. And they haven't made a mistake, the Biden people. They have done a fantastic rollout of their plans on COVID and on the economy. They know what they're doing. They're completely competent. And I don't think Trump's attacks on Biden have worked at all. And I don't think there's any huge anti-Biden energy in that room. There always was anti-Hillary. She's a very polarizing figure. But nobody hates Joe Biden. He's a nice guy.
So is he still in charge of the Republican Party, in your view?
Yes.
Still very much?
For the time being, I think he is. I hate to see it, but I think he is. But that may change if various things happen to him. If he goes on criminal trial in the next year in New York City, if he were to be convicted, he will not be the head of the Republican Party after that. They will begin to leave him. And let me just say, to clarify for your viewers, there are the voters and there are Republican office holders, senators, congressmen, et cetera. There are a lot of voters who do love Trump. But of the office holders who profess their love for Trump, they don't really love Trump at all. They just want those Trump voters, and they're afraid of them. In private, they hate Trump. They want to get rid of Trump. They're tired of being asked every day, well, Congressman, what did you think of Trump's tweet today about, you know, mayonnaise or something? And they want to get rid of him. And I think Mitch McConnell wants to get rid of him. And in due time, he will be gotten rid of, probably by the long arm of the law.
So Donald Trump has lost the popular vote 2 times in a row now. And he squeaked through the college electoral system last time, but he couldn't fix it this time. This time, he had the White House behind him. That won't be there in 2024. Would he risk the embarrassment of possibly losing an election again?
Well, his niece, Mary Trump, who's been a wonderful explainer of all things Trump, says that he will not run because he does not want to risk losing again, that the losing drives a guy like that with all his mental problems, drives him crazy. I don't know that. I would never underestimate the drive of Donald Trump. He might try to run again. But again, you know, there's the economy. I think what's happening in America is that COVID is coming down. Vaccines are going up. It's March 1st. By July 1st, I think COVID will be way down, and our economy, and therefore the world economy, will really start to go up and become very booming. That will help the party in power, who are the Democrats. And that economic revival will go all the way definitely through 2022 and longer. And Joe Biden will get the credit for it because of beating the COVID virus. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is off playing golf somewhere. I don't see that he's really in a great position. However, if I'm wrong and the economy goes down by 2024, then Donald Trump has a legitimate argument to run on and say, hey, remember, you didn't like me, but I gave you a good economy, and now it's back in the dumpster. You need to bring me back to fix the economy again. Under that scenario, I could see him getting back in.
All right, so let's assume then that he probably won't run again. So what's in it for him in the interim? What's the point of the power? Money.
Money. He's making money. He's charging money. He's going to do big fundraising for his political action committee, and then he keeps the money. He lives off the money, spends it on all the lawyers that he's going to need for all these legal problems. He's got the criminal problem in New York City that I mentioned. He's going to maybe have a criminal problem in the state of Georgia for election interference. He's going to have a federal problem in Washington, maybe over the insurrection. Those are criminal. You need lawyers for that, a lot of money. But then there are going to be civil lawsuits against him. There already are by two women, Summers Verzos and E. Jean Carroll. They're looking for millions out of Trump. He's got to defend that. And there are soon to be dozens or hundreds of lawsuits related to January 6th, the insurrection, and they may be aimed at him too.
I always got the sense that Melania Trump was almost a reluctant first lady. Was she at CPAC with him?
No, she was not there. Which reminds me, when you mentioned her, just to throw in here, that we had an event halfway around, 4,000 miles from here, where the former president of France, Nicolas Sarkozy, was convicted and sentenced to a year in prison today. Now, he's out on appeal, but don't think that Donald Trump didn't hear that on the news today and think, I hope that's not going to be me. Because I think once you open the door that former presidents can be tried and convicted and put in prison, then it can happen here too.
All right. We talk about Trump voters and that the cruisers of this world keep talking about him. But the reality is that Donald Trump failed them in Georgia, failed them in the Senate, and that was when he was in the White House. What proof is there that this guy even has the influence? It doesn't matter how many people voted for him, even more voted against him. So why would that change?
Well, the thing is, where his power derives at the moment is inside Republican primaries in congressional districts and states. The Trump voter is the majority voter in Republican primaries. So if you're Liz Cheney from Wyoming and you voted to impeach Donald Trump very heroically and very courageously, Trump is coming for her in a Republican primary in Wyoming a year and a half from now. And they've already got a state senator running against her in that primary who's looking for Trump to support him. And she's going to have, that's where her trouble's going to be. Not the general election, the Republican primary.
All right. John Leboutillier, thank you so much indeed for joining us. Always good to talk to you. And I'm
Me
sure
too, Peter.
we'll chat
Thanks.
again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.